Welcome to Thought Leader Thursday. This is where we come together to break outdated business practices and to start thinking differently about how we salon. Let's transform salon business one mindset shift at a time. Join me every single Thursday to chat about small shifts you can make to transform your business by changing your mindset and by thinking differently. Thought Leader Thursday is an exclusive podcast for our GHT email list subscribers. So if you know somebody who would greatly benefit from all of the beautiful things we talk about every single Thursday, go ahead and share our link to join our email subscription list with one of your favorite like-minded business owners so they too can also benefit from the amazing business tips we give every single Thursday. Let's get started. Welcome to this week's Thought Leader Thursday, and I am so excited to get things started. I am so excited about this week's topic, and the reason why is because I think this topic and this part of the service is very much overlooked. And it really is the easiest way to build your business, one of the easiest ways to build your business. And it's one of the easiest ways to start transforming your reputation as a hairstylist. So today we are going to deep dive into 3 of my favorite steps on how to start transforming your client experience in the salon. These 3 tips will not cost you any money, and they are something that you can immediately start doing, which is incredible. So I want to start by saying when you are offering more expensive services like extension services, there is so much more that goes into the service than just providing the hair. So when we talk about client experience and we talk about the level of experience that the client expects when spending a large amount of money on a hair service, I think it is a little bit more elevated than people understand. And as hairstylists, I always like to talk about when was the last time you actually paid for your hair, and when was the last time you actually spent $600 to $1,000 on something for yourself other than a car payment or a mortgage or your rent. So let's dive into my 3 favorite ways that we try to enhance the guest experience inside of my salon. And hopefully you will get some use out of these tips and you can start implementing them inside of your business in order to start seeing some transformations and to start just creating a better experience and generating more revenue for you and your team if you're a salon owner. So step number 1, I love diving deep into the pre-appointment experience. So the pre-appointment experience is about creating connection and trust, and it really is about being able to fully prepare and plan and create amazing guest experience before they arrive. So I love to use the analogy of preparing for a test. So say you have a huge test coming up. It's huge. And let's go through 2 scenarios. So 1, you have a big test coming up and you don't study, you don't prepare, you just kind of wing it. You're probably not going to do your best on that test. You're probably not going to get the best results or get the results that you really want. But if you take time to prepare and really put some effort into what you're doing for this test, and you actually put some thought into it, you're probably going to do pretty amazing. It's the same thing for our guest experience. When we take time to prepare, plan, and create, we can really hit and nail the guest experience. So one of the things we like to do and utilize in order to truly prepare for the guest experience and to create a pre-appointment experience is to create a questionnaire. So one, we love to get a current picture of their hair, and we love to get a picture of their expectations. So this is important for so many different reasons. One, it allows us to make sure that we have the proper allotted time for their appointment. How many times have you had a guest come in where they want an amazing transformation and you only have 2 hours to do it, and you try to rush through and it never turns out? Or the guest leaves disappointed because they wanted a huge transformation and you didn't have time, so you didn't deliver. So getting a picture of their current hair will allow you to adjust the time or reschedule the appointment to make sure you have time to achieve the look that they desire. Two, and this works beautifully in our salon for our stylists who are newer, it allows you to make a game plan. So you can, start to figure out formulation, you can start to figure out technique, you can start to figure out what strategy you're going to use. You can start to bounce ideas off of other stylists if you kind of are unsure of what you want to do. It allows you to really plan and set up so that you are mentally prepared for the client experience as well. So that way you're not wasting time or overdoing the consultation, and you're not wasting time staring at the color in the color area thinking about what you're going to do, which I know we've all been there, where we're standing there for like 15 minutes and just trying to think of the formula that we want to use. So this really does help you create a game plan, which builds confidence. When you go into something with a plan, it allows you to go into a situation confident. And especially when we're meeting new people and we have new clients sitting in our chair, even me, and I've been doing hair for 20 years, I still get nervous when I have new clients sitting in my chair. So when we have a plan, it allows us to have confidence as soon as the client steps through the door. So confidence is so important when delivering services. So that's why I love this pre-appointment experience, because it really does help deliver all of those things. We also like to make a questionnaire, and in this questionnaire, we will ask basic questions like, what do you like to drink? What's your favorite part of the service? Would you prefer a quiet appointment? Are you allergic to anything? Is there anything you would not like during your appointment or you would prefer not to do during your appointment? Getting an understanding of the client's likes and dislikes really does allow you to set the appointment up for success. If you have somebody who doesn't really like to talk during their hair appointment, that is me. I don't want to do a lot of talking during my hair appointment. I have 2 kids. I really just want to sit there and be quiet, which I'm assuming a lot of people feel the same exact way. Doing this pre-appointment form allows you to really understand what the client's experience and their expectations for the experience really should be like. So another thing that I love about going back to the before and after picture is it allows you to set expectations for the end result. So if your client has unrealistic expectations, letting them know that certain look that they are desiring may not happen in one appointment is very important. And it also allows you to set up a hair plan so you can set up future reservations so that you can actually meet and reach their goal in the future. So the whole idea is to create a repeat guest for hairstylists. Obviously, it is very difficult to get a client to actually sit in our chair. We know that they have to go through our marketing funnel, and it's a process. So when we do have somebody who comes in, really making sure that we're nailing all of the main points of their experience is very important, so they want to return. I think that nailing this pre-appointment experience is a game changer. So hopefully this was very beneficial for you. A couple of things that I like to use to create the pre-appointment form. I love using JotForm, and I also love using Google Forms. Both are great. It's personal preference. They both get the job done. Number 2 is mastering your consultation. So most services fail in the consultation. Having amazing communication and really listening to our guest so we can see their vision is so important. Seeing our guests' end result vision is not as easy as you think. So, being able to actually break down and understand what the client's end results, what they are wanting that to be, it's very, very, very important to have the consultation skills in order to be able to do that. So, here are a few of our favorite consultation skills. Knowing how to see the vision our client sees is key. So what you are visualizing may not always be the same thing that the guest is expecting, and having a great consultation is going to build trust. It's going to build that relationship in your client. It's going to build the confidence in your client, especially a new client, and it's absolutely essential to a great start and to a great experience. So our first tip is get inspiration pictures. This is huge, and know how to break it down. So some of the questions we like to go over when it comes to breaking down an inspiration picture is, I like to ask, what is your favorite thing about this photo? What colors do you see? What is your least favorite thing about this photo? Every single person picks a picture because something is standing out to them. What is that? You'd be surprised that what a client sees may not be the same thing that you see, especially when it comes to reds and blondes. I know when I've done consultations in the past, some people may see ash or they're saying ash, but in reality, they're bringing you a blonde that has warmth in it. Some people may be bringing you a picture of a red and they say it's red, but it's really violet. So we need to make sure that we understand, what the client is visually seeing in their head, and make sure that it matches the words that are coming out of their mouth. So having a visual aid for that is really, really helpful. Also, when it comes to the consultation, I want to talk about not being hesitant when it comes to talking about the cost. Being upfront about money is very important. We never want to create an experience where the guest checks out and they're sticker shock. This is one of the reasons why I love hourly pricing so much, is because the guest knows exactly what they're paying when they walk through the door. But if you do need to make a price adjustment with the client's appointments, or you need to talk about price before you start the service so the client knows what they're paying before they leave, please make sure you do so. Please make sure you say a number. So if you do hourly pricing and you do need to increase the time by an hour, say we need an extra hour for this today, this is going to be an additional cost of, is that okay for you? Does that fit in your price point, or does that align with your budget? Or if you need to add on like toners or root smudges or, bond builders, make sure that you're incorporating all of those numbers into your quote, so that way you have a realistic number that you can give the guest before they check out or before you even start the service, so they know exactly what they're paying for. Because sticker shock is the number one reason why, I wouldn't say the number one reason, but it's a very, very high reason why clients don't go back to a stylist, because they were unsure of why they were paying what they were paying. So we need to make sure that we're clear upfront, we're comfortable talking about money. Another thing that I think is really important is being honest and setting realistic expectations. So we want to make sure if we cannot achieve something, if we do not know how to do something, if we make a mistake, if we need to make an adjustment, if something is just unrealistic, just be honest. Honesty builds trust, which is the number one thing that I think is important to building really true retention with our guests. So, moving on to the next is offering creative solutions and giving our clients options. If making a higher investment isn't an option, if staying longer isn't an option, what can you give them to get them as close as possible to the result that they want? Because that is going to, again, build trust, and it's going to offer a solution. One thing that we do as hairstylists is we solve problems. So how can you solve the client's problem in that moment? And then again, this is so important. If you are claiming to be a specialist, if you are claiming to be an expert in something, make sure you have the answers. This means that you need to do your research. You really need to dive deep into all things that you are claiming to be the expert in. So that way, when a client does come to you with a problem or does want a solution for their problem, you have an answer. And if you don't have the answer, you make the time to find the answer. So, our last and final tip, step number 3 to really make sure to enhance your client experience, is master your follow-up. We hear from so many clients that their stylist ghosts them after their appointment, which I think is insane. Mastering your follow-up is crucial to building a guest relationship, and it's very important to build your reputation. So mastering your follow-up helps build trust, it helps you retain the client, and that is the whole point of doing hair. Extension clients are so difficult to find because there is a lot of competition out there. So when we do find somebody who is willing to invest in us, willing to invest in our services, we need to create an experience that keeps them in our chair for maintenance, for follow-up appointments, and that is by creating the perfect follow-up. And here's what we do in my salon. And I think this works beautifully. So to create the perfect follow-up appointment when it comes to extension services, we love to follow up 48 hours after the guest appointment. This allows us to open a form of communication to our client to make sure that they are happy with their hair. And if they are not, it's giving them permission to let us know. So we want to give our clients permission to let us know if they aren't happy with their hair. A lot of clients won't reach out to you if they are having struggles, but if you reach out to them, they will let you know, and this is an opportunity for us to solve their problem, and it's allowing us to fix the mistake or just to make an adjustment to make them happy. So we will reach out via email 48 hours. And this is something that it's a great opportunity, again, to build a relationship and to build trust. Another thing we like to do inside of my salon is we love to give a complimentary blowout 1 week after a new installation. And we love to do this if the client gets a set of all new extension hair. And this isn't just like a normal blowout inside of our salon. This is an experience that allows us to educate our client on how to truly care for their extensions, especially if they are a new extension guest. So, the extension blowout is an educational experience, and it is complimentary to the guest, but it does not have to be complimentary to the salon. This is something that you can charge at the installation, and the day of, the client just does not pay that day. So you can roll it into the cost of your initial installation price. But this allows us to have them come in. It allows us to check their scalp to make sure that they aren't having any damage, that they are caring for the extensions properly, that they are brushing properly, that there's no tension spots, that they are sleeping with them properly. It allows us to keep future problems from happening because 1 week into the wear, there's not going to be an insane amount of issues. But it's also enough time for us to check if they aren't doing things properly. So during this appointment, we always start with them coming in. Before we shampoo them, we're checking the hairline, checking the installation area, we're checking the all points of contact, we're checking to make sure that there's no knotting, that the extensions feel good. And then we are showing them how to wash the extensions. We're showing how to efficiently blow dry the extensions. We're showing them how to style the extensions. So a lot of people who have never experienced extensions prior, they can feel a little bit of overwhelm. It's a lot of hair. It's a lot of work. Sometimes it can be heavy. So when we are giving them the confidence to care for them by creating this educational experience, we are making them confident in their investment. We are also letting them, we're actually showing them how to care for their investment, so they're going to extend the life of their extension hair. We're talking about products to use. We're talking about products they shouldn't use. Again, I know we probably went over this during the initial installation, but a lot of times people forget. So repeating ourselves, making sure that the client heard us the first time, reiterating everything we said prior, and making sure that they really understand again, because, the excitement kind of has worn off at this point. I think it's a great opportunity, again, to build trust and to build that relationship. So the complimentary blowout has been a huge success for us. If you are a salon owner, you should be paying your stylist for this, of course. This is something I always pay my stylist for. So like I said, this has been very beneficial. This is something that we highly recommend our students do, and we absolutely love it. Moving on, we love doing a 4-week follow-up. And we like to check in at this point. 4 weeks is a good amount of time where the client has been wearing the extensions. If, again, they're having issues, we're extending and opening up the opportunity for conversation. We are either having them come in for a paid service like a treatment and a blowout or a color refresh. We're making sure that their investment is cared for. Sometimes this is just checking in with them via email, but if you would like to have them come in, especially if this is a newer extension client, I would set up this 4-week follow-up the day of their installation. So it's in the books. They already are planning on coming in and they can get excited about it. You can set this up for maybe like a date night or something they have like big plans for, so they can get use out of the style that they're wearing. But this is another way that we can follow up to make sure that they're caring for their investment and that they know that we really truly do care that they're getting the most out of their investment. So we value them. We want to make sure that we're creating a repeat guest. So this is just one of my favorite ways to do so. We would love to hear which one of these tips was your favorites. And we would also love to hear which tip maybe you love that you find great success with. So if you would love to share your tip or share the tip that we had for you today by screenshotting this and sharing it on Instagram and tagging us, that would be amazing. If you know somebody who would benefit from our Thursday podcasts, if you have a business owner friend or an independent stylist who specializes in extensions, feel free to share our links so they can join our email list. Our Thursday Thought Leader podcast is only available to people who are enrolled in our email list. It's one of the perks of being a GHT VIP. Feel free to share that link because the more the merrier. We love helping stylists grow. We love transforming this part of our industry because when we all transform, it builds our reputation as a whole, and it truly does build a better industry for everyone. I hope everyone has a great day, and thanks for listening.